One of the more unusual things that I need for the Redwood violin is sheep's fleece. And I found it in a rather unexpected location down here on South A Street, which is Santa Rosa's Arts District. And I've come down here today to meet Jeremy Nusser of Avalow Self-Watering Planters.
Hi, I'm Amanda Dunker, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Avalow, and this is my other partner,
Jeremy Nusser. I'm the CEO and co-founder, and you are in the Avalow Test Garden, where we just do everything gardening. We test out different fertilizers, we test our systems, our self-watering systems, different plant combinations, basically everything you could ever want to know in the world of gardening.
Here's one of your planters that's looking amazingly lush in, where are we now, March already. Can you tell me how the whole system works?
Yeah, in a nutshell, you add water here, there's an overflow on the opposite side, and so you add water until it comes out the opposite side. In the summer, that's meant to be once a week. In the winter, it can be as much as once a month. You can see this is a really good example of how the system works together, how the plants are working in conjunction to pull up just the right amount of water. So they're all getting perfectly watered, even though all you're doing is adding water to that fill tube.
Okay.
So, yeah, so the plants are actually reaching out, so they have a capillary pressure. So as the plants are out, there's the classic science experiment from grade school where you have a glass of food coloring and a stalk of celery, and slowly the celery turns the color of the food coloring. That same principle is what the plants are using here to pull up just the right amount of water. So what we've done is enable them to get the right amount of water and to get it quickly enough so that way they can grow in to as big and as beautiful as they want to be without fighting each other. And so that's this is the end result. But yeah, the science is really just letting the plants drink on their own.
So Jeremy, when I was visiting your garden and getting a tour before, I noticed you were using sheep's fleece.
Yep.
And I came up with an application that I need it for, so I came back to you and you very generously gave me a good hunk of this. But can you tell me what you guys use it for?
Yeah, so actually it's a couple different things. So this is really fun. So this is actually produced out on the coast, out in town of Bodega. And it's literally the most free-range sheep you can possibly imagine. They go out, they're like completely left alone, completely grass-fed. What we're actually using it for is actually as an insulating layer between, so we have a fabric planter. So we're, how do we get gardens to everyone is our goal.
Yeah. And
so we have a fabric planter, which is great, but where it falls down a little bit is it gets hotter than our other planters because it doesn't have any insulation. It's just 2 layers of fabric and then soil.
Yeah.
And so we're actually starting to add this in between the layers, just to add a little bit more thermal protection, just to help your plants grow a little bit better. And so that's kind of one of the things we're actually currently testing right now. So it's yeah, there's so many wonderful, like we use in our watering system, it's natural clays, quartz, lava rock, like all these different kind of natural elements, coconut husks. And so we try to keep that focus. There's these materials found in nature that just have amazing properties. And we are just trying to find different ways we can harness that, because your garden shouldn't be something that necessarily comes from a factory, an injection mold,
Hey.
All right.
It's looking so good out there.
Thank you.
So I've been coming here about maybe a couple of years, and you've got way more planters out there. But not only that, they're just fuller, and everything's looking so much healthier than it has been.
Yeah. Well, so I think one of the things is the soil gets better and better if you can keep the soil health right. It does a lot of good. So the one really cool thing about our planters is the long-term impact is that it just gets better over time.
How have you been affected by the pandemic?
Mixed bag. Obviously, like a lot of our business had to shift and transition. We were doing a lot of one-on-one education as opposed to kind of broader online, and so that went away. The workshops and everything we were doing here, obviously we couldn't do those anymore.
Right.
So it actually led us to open up the nursery, which has been amazing because we've met more neighbors, from the community, more people coming up on just to get out of San Francisco or even LA, like everywhere. People just like visiting wine country. We've been able to like make connections and help people garden, kind of all across the state of California at least. And that's been pretty great. And so it's something that we weren't planning on doing, but when you're kind of as you listen to your customers, it's like, well, this is the right thing. We need to be more open and inclusive as opposed to kind of our one-on-one model. And that's been, so it's helped us honestly grow in a lot of ways, and people have more time to garden. So I know there was a big rush to gardening at the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. Were you planters? Yeah. Last year was definitely our biggest year in terms in terms of even gardens. We did different community gardens for affordable housing projects in San Jose. We worked with kind of like top wineries to create outdoor spaces, restaurants. So we did some really cool projects, and then also we installed more home gardens because people wanted to wait. So I can get a garden next week, and I can just start planting. And we're like, yeah, we can do that for you.
And so how does it work with these? If I ask for a medium-sized planter, so what would happen?
Yeah, so what we do is we try to keep kind of get it to as quickly as possible, but we actually bundle everything together. So it's not just the fact that it's a unique piece of hardware. We actually bring it, set it up with you, and actually install it with organic soil. So everything is set up and it's ready to plant when we leave. Wow. And we've simplified that process so that it takes about 30 minutes kind of per planter. And so it's just super, super quick. The thing that takes the longest is actually looking at where it's going to make the most sense for you to grow in your yard and where it looks the best. Right. That takes by far the longest part of that process.
Right. And I guess once it's full, it's not moving easily.
It's funny. We actually have some options. We have forkliftable models. We're continuing to offer different options there. But yes, if you need it to move frequently, we can help you. If you want to move it every season or so, that might not be the best option.
I see.
So we started this for people to grow at home, and we're actually finding that by creating a product, we're actually working with a lot more developers to build it into homes from the beginning. And so we have projects down from Santa Rosa to Santa Monica in the world of commercial developments. We're working with schools, we're working with wineries, housing developments. It's been really fun to see kind of what a simple thing like a garden can actually expand out to.
It's absolutely amazing to see how the world is adapting and welcoming gardening. It's not just this like thing my grandma did anymore, out in the fields with like the mud and the boots. It's really great to see, gardens popping up everywhere. It's rooftops and cityscapes and developers are thinking about the environment and the impact that the positive impact that gardens can have in an urban setting. So it's an exciting time actually to be in the world of